In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to sew binding. So here we have our binding attachment. What we'll do is we'll loop our binding through these grooves down this slit, and it will come out folded on this end. Our screw will sit in this slot here, so it's adjustable. So I'll lay the attachment down and partially screw in our screw, so I'm able to move it around to get the position I want. Once I think I have the right position, I'll tighten it more. And I like to use duct tape as added support so the binder doesn't move around on me. Next, I'll insert my binding. I'll weave it through and down the chute. I'll use a pair of tweezers to help guide it through the slot, and then pull it away from me to get the fold that I want. So to test the placement of your binder, you can pull the binding under the needle and begin sewing, lowering the presser foot. I'll hold the binding at the back with my right hand and begin sewing. You'll want your binding, or the stitch on your binding, to be about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. So that looks good. So I'll take my fabric and insert it into the folds of the binding. Again, I'll use my tweezers to pry apart the binding to make sure that my fabric slides in there nicely. Then I can just continue sewing. My right hand is pressing the fabric up against the edge of the binder to ensure that it's fully caught. My left hand is just guiding the fabric, not pushing or pulling it. Once we get to this corner, with the needle buried in the fabric, you can lift up your foot and slide the fabric around to make sure that the edge of it is butting up with the edge of the binder. I'll use my left hand to kind of guide the fabric around the corner. And we'll do that around all the corners. Again, my left hand is just guiding the fabric, not pushing or pulling it through the binder until we get to these corners. Then it's just rotating along with the machine. Once we get close to the end, you can take your scissors, snip off where we started at the binding. Continue sewing. Once we get closer, you can lift your presser foot and take the needle out of the fabric. Slide it away, clip your threads, and we'll leave a tail of binding, say about 2 inches. Next, we'll use a single needle to fold the ends of the binding to create a finished edge. So we'll take the binder off. What I'll do, I'll fold the ends of the binding under and fold it around the edges of the fabric. That way you don't have a raw edge showing. Place the material under the needle, leaving off where we stop sewing, using the hand wheel to bury the needle in the fabric. I'm going to use the inside of the presser foot toe as an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and start sewing. Once I get to the end, I'll use the back stitch, and I'll back stitch 2 or 3 times. So 2. Just so that seam is secure. I'll lift the presser foot again and trim my threads. And that is one method showing how to sew binding.